April, Baker Street. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take your stuff away from you. Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me. Tell me. Is that overcoat keeping you warm? Oh my, surely you were given. Yeah, did let me keep it after I looked daggers at him for long enough. Went through the pocket and said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scrap. Always pays off, giving people a look like you ate them. Can't help but get the feeling it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice, shiny disc of mine. That music box disc? Mr. Windybig said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Mr. Windybank's again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank. But that disc's mine. I had to take it for this coat and it was in a pocket. Or should be something else and all. That's what Rotten Cove said, ain't it? The Rotten Cove said. Yeah, that's what Eggert said. But what? I still want to know why he what's the deal with that disc? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too. Whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook. I'm sure I might entertain you with some modest violin recital. Nota. Oh? Why would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your adder son? Bye. Oh dear, she's gone. Having revealed on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help but wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set up place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later, too. Sorry? I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Susato. Until later then. Oh, it's literally next door to his house. I didn't realize it was that close. I can't investigate the store closed. April, 3:46 p.m. Sholmes Suite. Ah, Susie! Bruno! Come in! Welcome! Come in! Come in! Afternoon, Iris. so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes! After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on, you'll never guess. Those little eyes of hers shine. Oh dear. It's awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Jeannie! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news! Quit playing along, Susato. Iris seems overjoyed at that idea. Can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from her. Pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh, yes, it does sound like one. Not sure that's entirely appropriate, are you? I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate, are you, Mr. Naruto? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. Huh? As you can see, I'm not here. Dang it, Sholmes. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really? He behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent-child relationship, don't they? Yeah, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Yes. Very much so. Wonder where her real parents are. Well, we already know where one of them are. Where's the other one? What's the matter, Bruno? You have a funny look on your face. Oh, no. It's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering. Am I right? Huh? How did you... Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. This girl's dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes! Also stole my experimental snow grenade launcher. And still has it, apparently. Also, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. Now we're best of friends. The best friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes. Now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh? And I chase after her down the back alleys. Gives me an idea of friendship. Then, I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh? Well, I covered that. There are so many beautiful colors in the world, Genie wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means that Mr. Drake keeps the smoke grenade launcher happy. Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Genie to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she actually does come. I'm sure you've been wondering what it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, that's crossed my mind. Where are your real parents? Mommy and Daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born. And around that same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. You didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. And that's what that is in the little testament. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes! I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Rilla told me I wasn't allowed to look at the chest. That only made me want to look even more. So I opened it. Found your father's memoirs. Yes. So I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. You know, what? Oh yeah, no, I don't have, like, if I had Mr. Wilson, like, if I had Mr. Wilson from Case 1 in here, I'd totally present that, but no, not a thing you can have. Practically lived with Hurley all my life, and I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock. Hurley told me that he wasn't really my daddy. Must have done. Wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. For some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying. Before they even open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diary. That's what inspired me to write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I'd always assumed Mr. Holmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solves a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing, and as usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. Say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. So it is... No! No! Why? No! I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to start study, so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Do we have to tell her? Please don't tell me we have to tell her. Iris's father went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. No! Don't make me tell her. Don't you do it, game. Don't. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruto. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. No! Why? The man who, in the most bizarre circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato. Miss Susato? Yes? Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Okay, we're not doing it now. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you. Mr. Sholmes. Why ever didn't you not make your presence known to me before? We did. Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? What are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Wait. Huh? Oh, another music box disc? No, not another disc, Mrs. Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilden's disc. How did he get it? Wait! Oh my! Then, what is it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Nodohoro, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh my gosh, how did he get it? When did he have the chance? Oh, that'd be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Reno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever get caught. Right. Plus, Susie has beautiful handwriting. She could write all our menacing crime notifications. I'd be delighted. I'm just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. I don't understand. How did that discount be in your possession? I thought Mr. Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. Did he bribe for it? That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. You're one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when a good detective confiscated the disc. We're taking out whatever it is McGilden's down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to comply. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest moment, I had the disc in my hand. Did I not? Yes, you did, but still don't understand. It was precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed a disc into a pair of bars like this. That's amazing! But what about the note attached to it? The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel? Indeed, This caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting as the result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one person is frequently proves to be very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without a high sucrose nourishment. Yeah, sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess it was most curious to know what the manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes, what music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberance pluck in the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. First, music boxes can be invented using a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of disc player was produced, which uses these discs such as these. That development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why, exactly. Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are many great firms in Europe now manufacturing these music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one's firm music box does not match that of another. We have no way of knowing which music box in this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested a disc in a few of those music boxes I have at my disposal. But, as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I'm presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's early for you. Always taking things too far. But, my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case. I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGillen. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGillen perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it to curse as a reaper? No one knows still, now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. It was the man's death. truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was burned. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGillicud's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. Well, yeah, because they didn't catch any murderers. They just proved, based on the evidence that they had, Gildred was not guilty. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice Fried Mason. In the end, the truth on the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened. And although Mr. McGill was found not guilty, so through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time to get started on things for dinner, I think. Jenny won't be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let it be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Did he leave his violin at the pawnbroker while he was distracted doing his tactful deductions? Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris and Pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of unworldly mystery lies dormant in my store. Were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea is such a wonderful story that languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than the bank's vault. And what about yours, Stravitus Hurley? What was that safe and secure? We do. There may be the occasional mix-up caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Bakersfield story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Bakersfield. Bakersville. I should love to read it. Why'd they go silent? What's going on here? Why did it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? You said, the Hound of the Bakersfield? But, how could you know the full title? Well, that's because Mrs. Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, the Hound of the Bakersfield has never been published. Did she read the diaries or something? What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, you told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said he'd keep it safe until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript's at Windibank's? And yet, how could Susie here knows the title? Did Susie break in? Did Susie get into the back room and find it and read it? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Or did he say it? I don't think he did. Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Yay! Sheena! Miss Lestrade. This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. No, wait! Miss Lestrade! We've all been eagerly waiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh, yes! Just wait there, Ginny. I'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. Okay, so we're just not even gonna... Another thing, we'll just be like... Yeah, just brush that under the rug. No worries. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mentalosum? I won't take a no for an answer. Meddlesome, is it? Meow. That evening, I prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Shone's violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we can call her, taught us how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. Days of April, 9:34 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultant. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear her enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes. Hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something? I wonder. What's the matter? Susato-san. It's about the telegram I received. Ah. Well, no, it arrived first thing this morning. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Stormheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh, no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth's for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Yeah. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Hi, Iris. Hello again. And Gina, too. Yes, Jeannie's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Jeannie? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what? In particular? Oh, what? What in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? I mean all those pickpocketing techniques. had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think we've awakened a natural talent. Could earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So what brings you to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. She took my bat. Wait, what? That's mine. Oh my, how did you? I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh, yes, I'd forgotten. Ours literally is a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not really that I understand why you wear it, though. What? Okay, still, I wonder if it, like, if I checked it, or if it wouldn't have been in my court record, that would have been perfect. I can't go back and check right now. Ah, thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? How has she not been up here? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a Laura what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. How kind. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I needed a little more time, please. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. No, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what this is all about, really, but it's the story you made up. Is it, Iris? The manuscript or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diary. I knew it! It was from her the diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, Minister? Apparently so. It was a surprise. I was as surprised as you are, though. Dad wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I studied them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. No, please. Frames, don't you do it. So, I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Oh, don't do that! Iris, this Hound of Bakersfield story. I take it that's another tale inspired by your father's account. That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow from the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? I don't really know, but it must be special in some way. 'Cause after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, it turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I'd ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. Why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, don't ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. It's gotta do, like, something deep with her father. Something deep happened. That's how the manuscript came to be at Mr. Windybanks, isn't it? Yes. Her said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. I mean, that's what it is. Keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are trusting for your own good. But you can't help pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. Huh? What? Hurley's lying to me? I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? You did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. Like from the minute we were born, not even our moms. We all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones, make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket? Nah. Divin's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift something pompous idiot's purpose. That's how we afford to eat. Like Robin Hood, ain't it? Robin Hood, ain't it? That's all I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents in you. I always thought it'd make everything right. But I've listened to what Iris just said. Sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always wanted to meet them. It's true. Want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. I don't want to have to tell her, but I know the game's gonna make me eventually. I don't want to do it. I know they're gonna make me. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that manuscript or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. That story really was an old Windybanks story. So there's always someone from halfway around the world. In other words, you could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. Okay, so if he sold it, that would kind of explain how Susato knows about it. And that's what, like, he had to, like, oh crap, you know about it. And Iris is like, wait, how do you know about it? So it kind of does make sense, but why would he sell it? Like, it's still getting read by public, like, out in the public somewhere. So how? I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Windy Banks. You'd soon see if you had a look. If you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar, like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he's sold me. I mean that sometimes I wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong for me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come on, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me bring breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night then. Iris, it's not easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night to Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received a distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfast with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe that girl has gone home. But I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windybanks? Oh no. It's simple. That story was really an old Winnie Banks storeroom. There's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Don't tell me she went and broke in to find it without telling you. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have a knowledge of the situation, Mr. Nodohodo. Sorry? Oh, no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once. Miss Susato. Okay, she woke up in a hurry. 1:14 a.m. Baker Street. The door to Winnie Banks. It's open. And the lamp is burning. Must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope nothing is more nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh yes, there is. What? Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Nodohodo. But after them. Go! Right. Blast. We've lost him. Hello? Hello? What have I here? Oh. The alarm was just raised from the pawnbrokery, sir. Would you know something about it? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? As the policeman closed behind me, I ran back to Winnie Banks.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Narado!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry! It's Gina!
What? What? No, you can't end like that. No. What? Huh? What?